The Mandarin has 10 rings. They're 10 rings of power. He gained these rings from an alien spacecraft that landed on Earth millions of years ago. And its guardian, and they were used to power up the ship that was used by its guardian, an Iron Man villain known as Fin Fang Foom. Apparently, they're going to work that into the MCU, and the way they're going to do it is Fin Fang Foom will be a villain in this movie. I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, he's essentially just a giant dragon.
I know that.
Fin Fang Foom, his nickname is the Sleeping Dragon. And I'm really excited about that. Now, two last things. I know we're going way longer than we're supposed to, but I just want to talk about these last two things. Blade and Moon Knight. There's not a whole lot known about these shows, so this is probably going to go by very quickly, but these are just my thoughts. Blade, like the Blade Trinity with Wesley Snipes, fabulous. Best movies around. If you have Hulu, you can watch Blade and Blade Trinity. You can't watch Blade 2 because I don't know where it is. But yeah, Blade. One of the best movies of the 2000s done by Marvel. And comic book movies had a questionably dark time in the 2000s. Like, they were very violent and very dark. Like, and also, can we just forget Ben Affleck being Daredevil for a minute? Can we just forget that? Ben Affleck was Daredevil.
And
he played Daredevil in the Daredevil movie in 2003.
Oh.
Did you not know this?
I did not know that there was... Yeah, I did not know that.
Oh, well, the only good thing that came out of that movie was the suit-up scene. That was the greatest suit-up scene I've ever seen in a movie. It was badass. It was awesome. It was action-packed. It was great. That was the only good thing that came out of the movie. Nothing else. Yeah, so... In that era, like, movies like Blade and The Punisher were, like, surprisingly violent and R-rated. But Wesley Snipes did a great job playing Blade. I really enjoyed that. It was super fun. It was super fun to watch. Like, I watched Blade, the first movie, like 3 times, and I still love it every time. Which is, those movies actually made Blade one of my favorite dark characters in the Marvel Universe. He's one of my favorites.
Who is Blade?
Blade is known as the Daywalker. He is a half vampire and a half human. So he's essentially still a vampire, but he has longevity and he is immune to all the weaknesses of a vampire, meaning he can walk in sunlight, he's immune to stakes, and silver does not hurt him. Yeah. Blade is essentially a vampire killer, which is very cool.
Yeah.
I really like him. The guy that played Copperhead in Luke Cage, the Netflix series, I don't know if you ever watched it, but I did. The guy that played Copperhead in it is playing Blade. And that was one of my favorite characters in the whole show of Luke Cage, and so I'm really happy that that's happening. Then we get, and yeah, that's it for Blade, really, because there's not a whole lot known about what's going to go on. And also, I really am excited for Blade, but also at the same time a little concerned, because the Wesley Snipes movies were so good that people are afraid that Blade, this one, might not be like up to the same standards that the movies were, so they're a little bit afraid about it, and they're a little bit skeptical about how this is going to work. And I'm one of those people, because I really enjoyed the Wesley Snipes movies, so this could be either like a really good, better version of those movies turned into a show, or it could be a major letdown and disappointment. Which, by the way, talking about Marvel disappointments and failures, you want to know what the worst rated MCU related project was?
Captain Marvel?
No.
Okay, that's just a guess.
Actually, no.
What is it?
It was the Inhumans.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Wait, was that even
Inhumans? Yeah, you were asking about that show like a few weeks ago.
Show. Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, that show got an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was horrible. And the worst part is, the Inhumans like Black Bolt and Medusa and Crystal, they are powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. So, and they messed up the show. They messed it up bad. It's the worst ever MCU related project they've ever done. And now that this has happened, Marvel is never touching the Inhumans again. They're never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
That's like kind of a sad thing, though.
Yeah, I know, and I was sad about it too, because I really wanted to see like characters like Karnak and like Crystal show up in the MCU. Yeah, it's really sad, unfortunately. And you know what was even a bigger surprise? That it did worse than Captain Marvel. Like,
Yeah,
really.
honestly.
And lastly, I just want to talk about Moon Knight for a minute. I saw a post by a guy that is a really big fan of Marvel, and he was talking about a costume that could be used for Moon Knight. And it's a costume known as Mr. Knight. I will link this picture after we end this episode. I'm going to send you a picture of the suit in the comics. Obviously, everybody wants like the white cloak with the white cape and like the white suit with the crescent on it. Everybody wants that costume. But this costume, I wouldn't be upset about because it's actually a pretty good costume. The costume is called Mr. Knight. Yeah. And it's essentially Moon Knight wearing a mask with a crescent on it, and he's wearing a white business suit. And he has 2 Eskrima sticks that come out of his sleeves, I think. And he essentially has everything that Moon Knight that he normally does, except he's wearing a different suit. It's like a business suit and a full face mask with the crescent on it. And I actually really like it. That, or I would really like to see his white and black costume. I'll send you a picture of that one too. Not a lot is known about this. There are some talks that a couple of famous actors are already in talks to be cast as Moon Knight. It's just none of them have been confirmed to be playing him yet. But yeah, that's really it. Wesley, you have anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just excited for what you've been saying. Also sad about
I know.
humans or whatever. That's kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. I feel like they could do a lot more.
Yeah.
And also, actually, that reminds me of something. You know, because Fox owned the rights to X-Men, Disney has been trying to replace the X-Men with the Inhumans, and it failed badly. People wanted the X-Men, not the Inhumans, and Disney could not deliver. So they started ignoring the fans and kept putting the Inhumans like they were trying to shove the Inhumans down their throats when they said, no, we want X-Men, and it didn't work. So the Inhumans are kind of in a bad spot, and this show definitely didn't help with that either. So the Inhumans are in a very bad position right now, and it's really unfortunate to see. And I just hope that Marvel can find a way to work this out better. And
well, they have the X-Men, so.
Well, now they do have the X-Men, so now this could work.
But now, but imagine people just started to be like, "Nah, we want Inhumans now."
No, they're never going to do that because the Inhumans have already received such bad press already. So it's not going to help. Well, anyway, guys, to anybody that watches this, thank you for joining us this long.
Thank you for spending the 83 minutes of watching us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We're going to try and do this definitely more often. This is just our first times doing this. We're definitely going to get better as we go along. We're going to have some friends of ours on. They're going to talk their opinions, so it's not just us two yakking at the mics the whole time. Thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.